Hi everyone, this is Bitupan here. Welcome to Mindful Talks. I am with an interesting topic today. You all know about internet. Internet cloud is a collection of billions of gigabytes of data. We can access this data from anywhere in the world through our smartphone. Just like the internet cloud, there is a cloud storage of the universe called the Akashic Records, which holds the knowledge of everything, including the past, present, and the future. It stores every thoughts, every deeds of humans from birth till death. Akasha is a Sanskrit word which means ether. This ether is present everywhere, but we cannot see it. Our five senses are not enough to access this ether. Ether is like the Wi-Fi of the internet. We can't see the Wi-Fi network, but we know that it's everywhere. Reference to Akashic records have been found in our ancient scriptures thousands of years ago. The ancient Hindu scriptures like the Mahabharata, the Puranas, all mentioned tales of the Vedic sage named Narada. It is said that Narada had raised his consciousness so much that he could access this ether. He has this mystical ability to tap into the universal knowledge from the Akasha. Stories of Akashic records can be found even in our recent history. There is a story of a Bulgarian girl in 1923. This little girl was playing in the field and was hit by a tornado. Later, she was found by her parents barely alive. Her eyes were hit by dust and she became completely blind. But later, she slowly developed a striking ability to predict the future. She began making accurate predictions for the local population. She was popularly known as the Baba Venga. And she gave a lot of predictions about the future. She said that she could see everything in her mind's eye. She can see the whole life of a person in totality just by looking. Many politicians used to visit her to predict the future. She predicted many big events of the history. She predicted the 9/11 attack. She predicted the nuclear accident in Chernobyl, the 2004 tsunami in the Indian Ocean, sinking of the Russian submarine Kursk, and many more. But she was a blind woman from childhood. So it means accessing this Akashic record has nothing to do with our five senses. In fact, in the case of this woman, when she lost her eyes, she developed other senses that can receive information about the past, present, and the future. You should wonder, where was she getting this information from? Strange, right? That's the Akashic records. I'm with a guest today who is an expert in this field. I'm with Karishma Manchanda, who is a fitness instructor for your soul. She is lovingly known as the Healer's Healer, India's leading spiritual life coach and Akashic Records coach, who has designed a transformational healing modality called Healing with Akashic Intelligence. She is the founder of the Akashic Records Academy, which is a globally certified training provider of healing with Akashic Records, crystal prescriptions, and other courses. She wrote a book called Cracking the Code of Akashic Records, where she explains how outside energies can influence your connection to the Akashic Records. This book is a simple manual of precise instructions for accessing the Akashic Records. It includes exercises, tools, and techniques to clear the energies blocking your access. Is it possible for anyone and everyone to access these Akashic Records, or do we need special powers to do that? Let's find out from her. I'm excited to talk to her. Let's get started. Hi, Karishma. Thank you so much for joining. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me.
All right. So let's keep it very simple, okay? For somebody, for the listeners now, who is hearing this term for the first time, Akashic Records. What does that mean? Let's say I am somebody who does not know anything about spirituality, and I heard somebody. It sounds more like a recording studio or something for me. But in a layman's
Okay.
language, can you explain what is the meaning of Akashic Records?
Okay. So Akashic Records, typically what it means is some people refer it to as Book of Life. That means since the time your soul has its creation, since the time your soul got separated from the creator concept and devised its own identity as a separate self from the creator, it starts to live its life. I am sure you would have heard about people having so many discussions about past life these days. So since the time the soul had its first life, it started recording its own journey, its own deeds, its emotions, its wants, its desires, its actions, its karmas that we talk about. All of that in a vibratory field. Now, this vibratory field is typically that people refer to as Akasha. I'm sure you would have heard about the fifth element, very commonly used as Akasha. typically a Sanskrit dialect,
Right.
coming from the ancient, Vedas that we talk about, where you have
Hmm.
fifth element as Akasha. All these gets recorded into the fifth element. That means the soul's own consciousness is what holds these records. Now, as the soul is a is an energetic being, and when we come into this particular lifetime, we become a physical matter. But typically, we are spiritual beings having human experience, but we
Hmm.
generally do not relate to that concept. So all the stories that we live lifetime after lifetime, all these get recorded in the Akashic record. So every story of a soul in a particular lifetime is one record,
Hmm.
right? And all of this gets written in the Akashic records, which is a vibratory field of the creator consciousness.
Hmm. So we are spiritual beings having this human experience for a very short period of time,
Yes.
right?
I would say it is a very, very, very long period of time, but we consider it short because we only look at one lifetime. But if you
Hmm.
look at the soul's journey, it is kind of an eternal journey since the
Hmm.
time of its inception, and the entire journey till the time it really recognizes that the creator is not something outside of me. I am a creator essence myself. Till the time that awakening comes, the journey happens lifetime after lifetime, and in each lifetime we evolve a little more to understand that creator essence that we have within ourselves.
Hmm. So we are the creators. We are the universe. That's what.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we have the entire universe within ourselves.
Hmm. And how did you get interested in such a topic? When did you start your journey of researching about it? And also, you have your profession around this, right? So I would like to know your
Yes.
story.
Sure. So I think as how I was born, I always found myself very, very different from the rest of people.
Hmm.
And I'll take you back when I was about 4 years old.
Hmm.
And we belong to a Sikh religion, and we really believe in Hemkut Sahib and Manikaran Sahib and other spiritual areas that we have. My parents took me out there, and I was with my
Okay.
uncle.
Hmm.
So everybody went inside, and my uncle said, "Okay, let me take you a walk outside," because I was not feeling very comfortable there. So I told my uncle, "You are not the one who can take me to places. Let me take you to places." And I took him
As
to
a
a
4 year
place where
child,
I
you
was,
said this to your uncle.
as a 4 year child, I
Okay.
said that. And through all the, the Pagdandis and all those little spaces in the mountains, I took
Uh,
him about 1.5, 2 kilometers away from
hmm.
where we were earlier. And I showed him the place where I used to be living in my past life.
Oh my
And
God.
my uncle was shocked. He said, "How did you know this particular place?" And I had kept on telling him, "Don't go from that side. There's a broken bridge out there. There's a broken tree. You will not be able to cross that particular area." As a 4 year child, I was able to tell him all of that.
Hmm.
And he was very surprised. And when he asked me, "Okay, how did you die?" And I told him, my husband drowned when he was going downhill to get me some chudis, because, the red chudis, I really used to like them at that point in time.
Hmm.
And I told him this is how my husband died, and my mera dharam ka bhai, a 4 year child saying mera dharam ka bhai, he took me
Hmm.
along, and I died as an old person in his house. But this was the place where I got married. And he was completely shattered. A 4 year old person saying dharam ka bhai and all those words, he was so astonished. And
Huh.
I told him, if I go there, I will not be able to come back because my energies will stay there. So he was like, "What is this girl talking about?" So I believe I had something very different since my inception in this
Hmm.
particular lifetime. But typically, how I got into all this was about 12, 13 years back, where I started learning Reiki, Sandy Surrender, Theta healing, hypnosis, past life regression therapy. I have done all of that. But then
Hmm.
in each and every modality, I kind of found that there's something which is lacking, there's something which is missing. How do I club all of that together? And that is how I came across with this own uh, this particular workshop on healing with the Akashic records, now divided into 4 or 6 levels. Level 1 to 3 is for individual healing, and if somebody wants to take it up as a profession, then you go further. In this, I have kind of imbibed the wisdom of all the modalities that I've learned over these many years, including
Hmm.
inner child healing, ancestral karma, parental karma, past life, current life issues. And so that is how this has taken up the market like a storm, because it is one consolidated capsule. Somebody
Hmm.
is looking for self-healing, finding answers within that you do not get in other modalities, doing onto yourself. You don't need a third person or a trained therapist to do it for you. So
Hmm.
that is how it is becoming so much now in the market, that everybody wants to come and join these particular courses.
Hmm. So, as a 4 year child, I'm curious to know that you remember everything about your past life. And I usually hear about this in stories. I think people must have heard about this in movies and all. But in reality,
Mm.
how common is it? I mean, one in a million or probably one in thousands. How common is it for children to remember their past life?
See, I personally believe that it takes a lot of time for the child to become more aware of their physical surroundings in the current lifetime. And
Hmm.
that is why it is also said that till the age of about 40 days or so, you would see the child smiling even when the child is sleeping, or crying when the child is sleeping, because people say that they kind of recall the past life events. Having said that, there is no age to it. Even you in this particular age can also connect with the records. So this
Hmm.
is not something which is outside of you. As I mentioned, Akashic records are stored in your fifth element,
Hmm.
and you have that element in you. That is how you're alive. The only
Hmm.
thing is, how do you tap into that dimension? How do you extract that information from that particular realm so that it becomes something that you can decode in the current understanding?
Hmm.
Many of us are operating from our past karma, based on the beliefs that we have from the past lifetimes, and sometimes even the foreign energies. For example, somebody would have taken an oath, let's say six lifetimes back, that perhaps, let's say, I should never have a child of my own, right?
Hmm.
And now in this particular lifetime, that is manifesting, the parents are barren, they're not able to have a child of their own despite having perfect medical reports. So those kind of things, because they are energetically entwined with their energies, they keep playing that role again and again. And
Hmm.
with these Akashic records, you can always tap into that particular potential, learn what has happened, and then transmute that particular karma by learning the lessons why you in the first place chose to attract that situation to your life.
Hmm.
Because these lessons, the karmic lessons, are epitome of the healing.
Hmm.
If you just have an information about a past life, it gives you some conceptual understanding why things are happening to you right now. But till the
Hmm.
time you transmute that energy from the current energies that you have, you will not be able to get the most of it. So the transmutation or the transformation of that particular information will happen when you imbibe the lesson in the first place. For
Hmm.
example, in that particular lifetime, let's say that particular person or a lady would have had a very bad married life, and she would have thought that better not to have a marriage, for that matter. So neither the marriage will be there nor the child will be there. So my life is going to be safe. I will
Hmm.
be safe. I will not be mistreated.
Hmm.
So if we treat that concept, that karmic belief that she has, then
Hmm.
automatically, by the virtue of law of attraction, a lot of things will start to shift in her current lifetime, because the energies are now vibrating at a different frequency altogether.
Mm-hmm. And you also said, I think you have mentioned in a book about a lot of issues that repeat, right? And people usually say that from past lives, a lot of issues repeat. So from your clients and from your experience, what kind of issues that actually repeat from past life to this life and then to next life? Can you give some examples?
Sure. So issues could vary from person to person, and also it can vary from the ancestral lineage to another ancestral lineage,
Hmm.
right? But generally, the kind of issues that come, especially in the age of 30s,
Mm-hmm.
my clients generally come and say that marriage is not happening. What is the issue? I am so much well qualified, and still I'm not able to manifest a mate, a potential mate. So what is the issue? I can attract a lot of men, but they're not the men that I would want to get married to. What is the issue? So majorly relationship karma is playing the theme in the current time. And I think that is also because the way that the earth is also progressing, people are changing their understanding about what they are, who they are, and there's so much of awareness about expanding their consciousness. People are accelerating in their spiritual growth and development, as the earth is also progressing from 3D to 5D earth. So when these kind of energetic changes are happening at a planetary level, everybody is getting affected.
Mm-hmm.
And when I talk about mate as a concept, a mate could not only be a person that you're married to. It could be a boyfriend. It could also be, as long as you are a child, let's say about your mid teenage, your father also acts as a potential mate. Why? Because the relationship that you have with him is based on the divine feminine, divine masculine relationship. So all of that you have inherited as a paternal karma will also start to reflect in potential mates that you will be seeking. So that is why, if people say, this is the issue that I'm facing, my first question is, how was the relationship with the father? Because if you had a good relationship with the father, you're likely to manifest a person who is at least of that frequency. But if you had a father who was not very kind to you, or not very kind to your mother. So the understanding between the divine masculine, divine feminine also gets distorted in the child's mind. And as a result, what you give to the universe, you attract those kind of experiences. And then you say that I'm not getting the kind of person that I'm looking at. So, and people a lot of times come back, I want to understand what is my soul purpose, who is my twin soul, I want to know when will I meet my twin soul. Now, surprisingly, they do not really understand that till the time you have elevated your energies to a level where you are able to attract a suitable person, you also have to elevate your energy. So you also have to do a lot of homework. And at the same time, the potential mate should also have done enough homework so that you
Hmm.
both then come in alignment. So it's not like one person's chase, it's a mutual relationship. And it
Hmm.
is only when both of you would have done the sufficient work in terms of understanding and releasing karma, maybe accelerating your growth over so many lifetimes, that you now would say, okay, now this is the person I would want to really settle down with.
Hmm. Do people say about financial issues to healers?
Financial issues also come, including sometimes the business related issues that I'm not able to manifest enough clients.
Hmm.
Since many of my students, they take up healing with the Akashic Records as a profession also. So
Hmm.
in about level 6, then we really dive deep into what really is the issue, because typically the inner child wounds and the maternal paternal karma, they play a very very strong role.
Hmm.
If somebody has manifested a lot of blocks in terms of the career growth, in their business growth, or not being able to manifest good clients, or people who just just come, take information and leave, they don't really manifest into true clients.
Hmm.
So if you have if you would have heard about, let's say, as a child, that money doesn't grow easy, you really have to struggle very hard to earn money, and
Beliefs.
it's not easy to hold money. So even
Hmm.
if you have that kind of subconscious beliefs, sorry, conscious beliefs, that you would want to manifest a lot of clients, but subconsciously you have that thing in your mind, that if
Hmm.
I have a lot of clients, then let's say I'll be very busy with the clients, I will not be
Hmm.
able to pay attention to my family. So what is happening? You are disconnecting with the universe. On one
Hmm.
side, you want to manifest clients. On the other side, you are saying, if I have clients, I will not be able to have good time with my family. So you are kind of having conflicting beliefs in your own understanding, in your own psychology. And as a
Hmm.
result, the universe also gets confused. It will give you
Hmm.
what you want, but you have to be very, very sure of what you're asking for.
Right. The universe is actually ready to give you everything, but we are confusing the
It's all
universe.
giving. It's
Exactly.
absolutely. The
We.
moment that you say, I want this, the universe
Uh,
starts to create that dish for you. But then you
uh,
change your mind, okay, maybe not this, something else. Then the universe will take time to manifest that for you.
now, since we came to this about manifesting from the universe, can you talk about law of attraction? Because in my channel, I usually talk about law of attraction and how our thoughts are actually creating our realities. Can you talk a bit about
Absolutely.
that? How does that thing work?
Sure.
Hmm.
Sure. So people use a lot of different modalities to start working with law of attraction. And I would say affirmations, self-talk, all these things help. But
Hmm.
till the time we are able to rewire our mind and really clean the inner, beneath the surfaces of all the subconscious beliefs that we have, we, despite consciously radiating what we really want, using affirmations and doing positive self-talk and doing journaling and other activities, till the time the core is really explored, because between the age of 0 to 7, you would not really remember what happens to you, what beliefs
Hmm.
you have inculcated at that point in time.
Hmm.
So you really need to dive down into that particular phase of life, especially 0 to 3, and then marginally 3 to 7 years. And when you really dig out and start clearing the karmic patterns that you've created, you start to shift the energies, because that is where the crux of your psychology starts to develop. You may be consciously choosing to create something, but the subconscious mind has something else programmed into it, so you're creating resistance. So for law of attraction to really really work, law of attraction is like, it's a universe which is all giving. You just have to ask for it. But what you're asking, is it really in alignment with what you really believe in? Is it really in alignment with what you really want, or you have doubts in your mind, or there
Hmm.
are reverse conflicting beliefs that are playing subconsciously which you're not aware of? So once you
Hmm.
start to shake that, those inner layers which are actually causing hindrance in really making you align with the universe. Once you transmute those limiting beliefs, then you automatically come in alignment. But then there is one more very crucial part to it. That is having faith, believing in that things will happen for you. The
Hmm.
moment you bring doubt, that I don't know whether this will be possible or not, you are basically creating resistance for the universe to manifest that thing for you.
Hmm.
Because if you radiate doubt, that means there is an element of lack. That's something that you do not have. Right? When you
Right.
say that I want this, you need to believe also that you're worthy of that particular thing.
Hmm. Hmm.
You
Hmm.
will have that particular thing. And the moment you start to say, I will have that thing, I already have that thing, you start to elevate your energies, moving us a little in the future and start to experience emotionally, psychologically, how would it really be to have the thing in the moment? It
Hmm.
starts to shift your energies. It starts to elevate your energies. The moment that energy elevates, the universe picks it up and starts to deliver it to you. But if you have doubt, you will never be able to elevate that, because the moment you'll be moving to that emotion, you'll think, I don't think so if that's really possible. Why am I even thinking about it? The
Hmm.
moment you do that, the universe, takes a back gear and it goes back, okay, maybe something else needs to be manifested now. So it keeps
Hmm.
changing gears. So it's not the universe which is not giving you. It is how you're projecting to the universe. If you
Hmm.
doubt, if you have an emotion of lack that this is not with me, this is not something I have, you will not be able to manifest it. So there are these three elements. Number one, you need to clear what is hidden in the surface. Once that is cleared, your beliefs are in alignment, then you move to level two. Level two is first about having belief, having faith that this will work for you.
Hmm.
And then level three, you move into the emotion of already having it. And then live with that particular emotion for some time. It will automatically start to create miracles into your life. And that's how law of
Hmm.
attraction works.
So it's like, if you want to be successful, feel successful right now. And if you want to be
Yes,
happy,
in the moment.
uh-huh.
In the moment.
Yeah. But again, sometimes our
Yes.
external,
Because
wherever
otherwise, what
we,
will happen is that you're
hmm.
radiating lack only, right?
Hmm. So,
Yeah.
like in the places where we stay, our external current environment doesn't allow us to feel successful, even if we think about
Mhm.
it. But the reality is something else. So there's a
The
conflict
reality
in
is
the
also
mind.
something,
Hmm.
the reality is also something which is created based on what we have already believed.
In the
So if you
past.
start to believe that, yeah, so if you start
Hmm.
to believe that you are successful, slowly the reality will also shift for you.
Hmm.
And that is how you will manifest whatever you really want to create in the physical form. Because earlier, whatever was manifesting into your physical reality was an unconscious manifestation.
Hmm.
Now you're taking the charge in your hand. You are consciously manifesting. Manifestation is happening all the time, whether you
Hmm.
are consciously manifesting or you are unconsciously manifesting it,
It's like
right?
gravity. Gravity is working all the time. So either we believe in gravity,
Absolutely.
or
Whether you feel it or you don't feel it, because you take it for granted.
we can say that, the I'm just thinking of an analogy. We can either use the gravity for our advantage, or the gravity is against our advantage. For example, if I want to keep my phone on the table, just because there was gravity, I'm able to keep the phone on the table. Otherwise the phone would have flown
Be
somewhere.
floating around somewhere.
Yeah, but again, at
Absolutely.
the same time, if I have to walk to the third floor of a building, I would be actually scolding gravity. Gravity, why are you? Because of gravity,
Yeah,
it's
it's so
against me
difficult to
right now.
climb up now.
So it's for our
True,
advantage
true.
and again against the advantage. But gravity is working all the time, whether we believe it or
Yeah,
not.
it's working all the time. That is how your law of attraction is always working. Your universe
Hmm.
is always supporting and always giving. The point is,
Hmm.
what are you asking? Are you asking it consciously? Because unconsciously, there's so many things going on into your subconscious you're not even aware of. From the current lifetime, from the past lifetime, from the ancestral lineage, from your parental karma, the way that you interact with media, societal karma, religion plays an important role. The country you're born into plays so much of role in shaping your belief system. All of that is working.
Hmm.
The moment you
Right.
take charge of what you really want to create and align yourself consciously, then the true manifestation really starts to happen. Else the
Hmm.
manifestation is happening already.
Right. Interesting. So coming back to Akashic records, now for Hinduism believes in reincarnation, but for people from religions who do not believe in reincarnation, how do you explain to, or do you have clients from other religions who do not believe in incarnation? Then how do you explain to them?
Um, Okay, I have clients from Dubai,
Hmm.
which whom I believe may not really be believing in reincarnation. I have clients from Canada,
Hmm.
students from Canada. I have students from UK, and
Hmm.
of course, India is the oyster for me. So with these kind of diverse, people coming, I have seen some people doubting their understanding about the information that they're receiving, and
Hmm.
whether it's really a past life or I'm cooking up a story or something like that, right? For those who really believe in past life, it's easy for them to sail through understanding and reading with the Akashic records and complete their modules. For somebody who does not really believe in reincarnation or in a past life concept, what to tell them is, since this is coming from you, this information that you have revealed through the Akashic records is coming from you. It means that it is somewhere in your energies. That is why you are able to read it. Now, whether
Hmm.
you say that it is something coming from a past life, or you say it is a current life issue, or you say it is a story that your mind has created, some way or the other, that story is also reflecting you some kind of an inner conflict. If you don't
Hmm.
really believe in karmas, if you don't really believe in past lives, these kind of people do believe in conscious and subconscious mind. They do believe in conflicting situations and limiting beliefs. So then I have to explain it to them slightly differently. But the essence, whether you're looking from a past life concept or karmic concept, or you're looking from a limiting beliefs and and a subconscious mind concept, both of them are giving you information that somewhere you have energies that are not aligned, they are conflicting. That is why you're manifesting this kind of a block into your physical environment, your physical reality. So when you are able to heal that particular belief,
Hmm.
now for them, I don't really use the word karma, but belief, right? When you're able to heal this particular belief, understand from where this is coming, why this is happening, why your soul has chosen to evolve through this particular issue, so that you are able to understand yourself spiritually better at a soul level,
Hmm.
and you're able to resolve this particular issue, you learn through the lessons that life has to bring to you, then you're able to ascend that particular thing and dissolve the belief which is causing you that particular block. Because once the belief is blocked, you're elevating your own energies. You're elevating your energies. You're asking the law of attraction to now work on that particular frequency, and
Hmm.
automatically, by the virtue of law of attraction, newer reality will start to manifest for you.
Hmm. Got it. So I think about the Akashic records, there is mention in the ancient texts also, right? Like in Mahabharata and all. I do not have much
Mhm.
idea about this. I have done my research, but is there mention of it on our ancient texts?
In the ancient Vedas, we do have a mention about Akasha, and Akasha is generally referred to as the fifth element.
Hmm.
The Vedas talk about the five elements basis which all physical forms that are created and manifesting on planet Earth and even other places they
Hmm.
belong to. These five elements have to come together to produce life. If any of these five elements is not there, life cannot manifest. You have fire, earth, air,
Hmm.
water, and the fifth element, which is Akasha.
Gotcha.
People give different name to the fifth Akasha. Some people say ether, some people say, empty space, some people say consciousness, some people say
Hmm.
spiritual consciousness, some the glue that connects all the four elements together. Irrespective of howsoever you would want to relate to it, this fifth
Hmm.
element has the consciousness of itself. This fifth element has the elements to produce life.
Hmm.
This life is what we know as a soul. It's
Hmm.
the soul's consciousness. And exactly when we talk about, in the beginning, we mentioned it's, that Akashic records are the soul's consciousness, lifetime after lifetime, written in a script form. When I
Hmm.
say script form, it is not really a book in a physical form, right? People refer to Akashic records as a book of life. It's mentioned also in the Bible as a book of life. It's not a physical book. Some people use temple meditations to walk into a temple to retrieve their records. Some people enter into another space, a historic space or a library, and then they enter into a different the halls, and then they pick up their book and then start to read in the during the meditations. But typically it is not a physical space. That is what I'm trying to put across. It is a space in the etheric realm,
Hmm.
so in the creator's perspective, in the creator's mind. So it is nothing but energy.
Hmm.
Physical element, it is energy. This energy has all the information that you have lived through lifetime after lifetime. So when you enter the Akashic records, you're basically entering into that particular Akashic intelligence field, which is a subset of the creator consciousness, and retrieving a particular lifetime's information, what you have done, what others have done to you, how you reacted, how you created karmic cycle with that particular person, which is now manifesting as a relationship issue or a financial issue or a health issue, and so on and so forth. So when you retrieve that information, you are then able to transmute that information also. So we have a lot of reference coming from the Sanskrit. It itself is a Sanskrit word. Akasha is a Sanskrit word. It had been taken, the West has taken it from us, created into Akashic Records workshop, and then presenting it back to us. But typically, if you look at, we have very strong roots in our ancient Vedas, which talks about Akasha all the time. It's a fifth element. And before anybody else could really confirm that scientifically and through other modalities, Indians were always talking about it. When the Rishi Munis were referring to Akasha, they were basically, when they said that, they used to travel across the universe and, move to the God's land and all, they were actually transforming their energies, their consciousness to a level where they could access any information. And how were they able to do it? Because they were able to tap into Akashic records, Akashic consciousness, and be there for a longer duration as we generally do now.
So how do we do that? Can a layman do that right now? Or is there any technique for it?
Absolutely.
Can you share some techniques?
As long as, sure. So as long as you believe, now that's my only requirement. You need to believe to make it happen, right? Unless you really believe that you can do it. If you have doubts, of course, nothing will work for you. Some people do come forward with that, whatever story I'm getting, maybe I'm cooking up a story. That's the reason in the level 1 of Akashic records that I take, I also give them an exercise. Okay, ask a question, think logically, what should be the answer for that particular thing? If you're not able to manifest money, what do you think is the reason for that? Get the answer, write it on a piece of paper. And then I give them the meditations and the entire protocol that we discuss in level 1. It's a detailed protocol, setting the intentions, and you do a prayer, and then you do white light meditation, then you open your records, retrieve the information and close the records, and then start working with the records. So, and after they do that particular thing, I ask them, you use the same question that you had earlier, but this time get the information from the Akashic records. And surprisingly, not even one person has received the same information that they consciously thought that this is the reason why I'm not able to manifest this particular thing. That is when they start to believe into it.
Nice.
And faith is one thing. Unless you really have it, you cannot move mountains.
Right. Okay, so this is my last question. So you have written your book, which is Cracking the Code of Akashic Records. So what can readers get from it?
So this is the book that we are referring to, Cracking the Code of Akashic Records. This is our best-selling book on Amazon, and we've received very good feedback about this. But this book is not only for somebody who is just here to read. This is a book for somebody who really wants to explore Akashic records for themselves. Now, this book talks a lot about spiritual development, talks about 4 stages of spiritual development, what Akashic records are, how can they help you. It also helps you identify the areas in your life which needs healing, which needs some kind of attention. A lot of time people come and say, I need healing for my financial blocks, my relationships are not working, my health is also deteriorating, my kids do not listen to me, I have this issue, I have that issue. So the list is endless. But you need to focus on one thing at a time. That is how you'll be able to break that cycle and create a change. So this book helps you identify what is the first thing that you would want to open up and explore. And then overall, if you look at it, it also teaches you how to understand the pain that you have gone through in this particular lifetime. We call them as sacred wounds. How each of those pains are an opportunity for you to recognize a spiritual development which is hidden somewhere, but you're not really able to tap into it. So once you start to look at a situation in your life, an issue in your life, from a spiritual standpoint, the goods and the bads merge away. The rights and the wrongs merge away. Because then you're looking from a soul's perspective, you're looking from a higher consciousness perspective, and there's nothing right or wrong. Everything is here as an opportunity for us to learn, grow, and evolve into a better spiritual being.
Got it.
of, there are about 15 protocols I've given in this particular book. For somebody who is not able to come in person or take my classes online, this book will help become a Bible for them to understand what Akashic records are, how to access Akashic records, what kind of information can be retrieved. There are a lot of meditations given in this particular thing, even to open your higher chakras. Generally, we talk about 7 chakras in the physical body, right? This book talks about 13 chakras. It helps you open up your 8th chakra, which is your soul start chakra, which allows you to access all the Akashic records information, and also your 0th chakra, which is the earth start chakra, so that you remain grounded in the current energies. It should not be that, you're then like, roaming in the thin air and then forgetting to come back and ground yourself into the physical realm. That's also very, very important.
How many chakras
And
are
also,
there? Even I know about just 7 chakras.
These chakras are endless. So what happens
Okay.
is, as you start to grow and evolve, new chakras start to open up for you.
All
Because
right.
then that means you've mastered the lower chakras, and then you're now moving on to the higher chakras.
Okay.
In physical human body, we say 7 chakras, but then animals also have chakras, plants also have chakras. We've evolved through all of that. We've mastered that, so now we don't talk about that. We talk about human chakras, the 7 chakras, because we are here to master those. And then once you're able to elevate and have your heart center always working in a perfect harmony for you, then you start to open up your higher chakras. And once you would have mastered in, let's say, future lifetimes here also, then perhaps new chakras will open up for you. So these chakras typically are like a ladder to open up your own soul's evolution, your spiritual concepts, and your soul's consciousness to move to the level of the creator consciousness. So they're like a ladder, step by step. You have to move up and move up.
Got it.
And just before I close about this particular book, there are so many other exercises and protocols that are given in the book, which are talking about even spells, curses. When once you start to receive information about your past life, there are chances that you may find out that somebody did black magic onto you, or somebody cursed you, or you cursed somebody, and that is coming back as a block in the current lifetime. Or let's say you have wayward spirits in the energies that you are in. Somebody has sent a wayward spirit or a disembodied spirit, or a wayward soul in the energies. That means the harmony in the house is not there because of that. So space clearing. We also talk about, we extend basically cord cutting, and we talk about energetic divorce in this book. How can you do that? So if I talk about this book really is a summary of somebody who's really looking to understand Akashic records and use that. So this is not a read-only book. This is a practical, hands-on book for somebody who really wants to dive into it and start to heal themselves.
Nice. So this is an Amazon best-selling book, and I'm going to mention the link of the book in the video below.
Sure.
All right. So thank you so much, Karishma. I learned a lot about Akashic records.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you for a lovely talk.
Same here. All right, and thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.